What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Dailey, joined here by Dailey and Smith of the San Diego Loyal. A very good, sportsman. Co-founded many teams in the sports management industry. So, Warren, thank you for joining the show.
Chris, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, you right now currently into sports, but you want to always, working within sports. So, growing up, were you always into sports? When did it really start?
Well, I played sports, Chris, and of course, love sports. Played football, mainly American football, and then tried playing soccer in my sophomore year. So I didn't play football. Played one game of soccer. Made the team. First game I'm in, I was playing. They called it left back at the time, so fullback, and this little forward on the other team slid into my leg and snapped it. So I have this love-hate relationship with the game of soccer, and but no, I was mainly football and played college at UC Davis.
Yeah.
But got into sports by accident in 1997. Had a very good friend in '95. His name is Kevin McClatchy, former owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. We were bachelors together, and actually here in Sacramento. And obviously, the McClatchy family owned a lot of papers and fairly wealthy. And he bought a single A baseball team in Modesto, and we would go down with him and watch that. And then he had to move to take care of the Pirates, and
cool.
And I said, "Whatever you do, don't leave Sacramento. Don't give up on us, because we need. I want to take my boys to watch some ball games, like my dad took me in."
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm driving to the airport, and he says, "I can't do it because all these reasons. There was a bunch of reasons." And he said, "Why don't you do it?" And I didn't have any money. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but he said I could sell. He said, I cared about the community, and it's just about building a vision. And so I got into sports and have been in it, at 23 years now, I think.
Yeah. So, before getting into sports management, you worked other jobs. So, was that really the moment when you decided to pursue it? You had to obviously contemplate the decision. So, was that the exact moment?
Yeah, Chris, I wasn't looking for a job in sports. I was looking to make a difference in our community. I was looking to actually make, Sacramento was the largest market in the country without professional baseball at the time. We had a pretty successful Pacific Coast League team called the Sacramento Solons, from 1903 through really 1976. Granted, there's periods of time, but it was all about stadium problems. So, in order to be able to bring baseball, we needed to find a way to build a stadium. So, I was pretty instrumental in finding the land and putting, some general pillars in place that would allow us to build a stadium. But really, it was all about making a difference in my community. And of course, I loved the opportunity to work there. I was fortunate to learn a lot from my partner, Art Savage, who was the money behind the Sacramento Rivercats and Rayleigh Field, and got to learn from, one of the best operators in the business for, a good 7 years. So, anyway, all by accident.
Yeah, so, when that really happens, crazy how you get into this. How are you personally feeling as, the team, finally steps onto the field? And, it's not just about the team playing, but it's about the community coming together. How are you feeling at that moment?
Well, Chris, that's a great question, and you just hit the head of the nail for me. I became addicted to sport or sports, not because of what's happening on the field, but how sports interacts and bring people together, and then how the fans react with the club and how they actually react with the brand. It was awesome with baseball to do that. I had the fortune of working with some pretty talented people. Alan Ledford, who's now with El Paso Chihuahuas, who used to be with the Oakland A's. Tom Glick, who is our VP of Sales and Marketing. He's now the president of the Carolina Panthers, former commercial officer of Man City United. So I was around some just great people and got to learn a lot. But really for me, it's 100% about the fan and putting smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, and that's what I love. And I interviewed a soccer player right when I started, and he plays for Forward Madison. I don't know if you heard about them, but
yeah, we played. We were in the Foot Mob World Cup of Crusts this year, and that was the final against Forward Madison, and we just barely beat them out.
Yeah, congratulations. So, I mean, Forward
Thanks.
Madison, you know, they're great with marketing and everything, and they
Yep.
play in a small stadium too, which I find fascinating because they're selling out. And he said, you know, I'd rather play in a small packed stadium than a huge empty one. And visually, I mean, it's a lot more appealing to see, you know, this stadium packed than a huge stadium empty. So I think, you know, I really, you know, have taken that for the past few months, and I really love that. And, you know, that quote he told me. So, I mean, starting a sports team, definitely very tough. What's the biggest misconception about, you know, starting a professional sports team?
Well, I mean, I think people think it's a really sexy business, and yes, and there are times when it's sure a lot of fun. You know, obviously
Yeah.
at the Rivercats, we won a championship when we just bought the team. You know, with Mark Mulder and Barry Zito and the Blakes, Tim Hudson, they were all on that team. And winning that championship, and you know, was the first experience of something like that I've ever had. And we won, you know, 3 or 4 more championships with the Rivercats, and obviously that's exciting. But it's business 101. It's no different than any other business. You have to grow relationships. You have to make connections. You have to actually, you know, have all the tenants in place and the pillars in place to actually make sure that the business can be successful. You have to have good sales and marketing strategies. You have to use your money well. You have to really understand marketing, and at the end of the day, understand what the customers want. And that's where I probably have been able to, basically because I've had great teams, but been able to really understand what customers are looking for and then deliver that.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell from now you have a great relationship with the fans and everything. You know, and can be on the field, off the field, whatever. But what's your favorite memory, you know, from your days with the Rivercats?
The days with the Rivercats was the year after we had just won. We had just finished the season, right? We had sold out every game. Huge success, both operationally, made a difference for the community. But it was, I think it was in December. I got a letter from a gentleman about your age, thanking me. He wrote a thank you letter, and it was, hey, I just wanted to thank me for bringing the Rivercats to town, and it really, this is where it started to galvanize for me. The reason he thanked me is, you know, he had an estranged grandfather. The parents never spent any time with him and would not allow him to spend any time with him. But he became 16 years old. They would let him, they bought season tickets for him to take his friends. At times, obviously, they went to some games with him. So one time he asked his grandfather to come. And he said, if you can make it, show up, and there's a ticket in your name. And Grandpa showed up, and at the end of the day, they ended up having a great time. And unfortunately, he passed away just after the season ended. And so it was that letter that meant everything to me. And this, because basically it reestablished a relationship, and that's what we live for. That, you know, we're in the business of making relationships and growing them. So that was my most favorite memory. And secondly, I think it's the 2005 AAA All-Star game. You know, when we just had an absolute blast bringing the community together. We built we didn't want just the season to end and or just have an all-star game. We wanted to make a difference. And Art's son, who was physically challenged in a wheelchair, meant a lot to him. So we were very instrumental in building what is called Rivercats Independence Field. It's a field for all disabilities to play on, and you know, so, you know, making differences like that and actually doing some fun things and actually making the community a better place is really what I enjoy the most.
I mean, truly making a difference. I mean, that's amazing. So, you left the Rivercats and then took a job at Clean World, and then you come back to the sports, industry, and with the co-founder of Sacramento Republic FC. You get, Preki as a coach, who's like a legend. See, instant success. Win another championship. You mentioned you won championships before. You win another one. I mean, what were you thinking as that final whistle blew and all that hard work from this past season, kind of paid off and you guys were crowned champions?
Well, yeah, Chris, I got into it because there's a story around that, right? So you might have heard at one point the Sacramento Kings, our NBA team, was potentially leaving. There was a guy in Seattle that was trying to move them, and our mayor had come to me and asked for some feedback and, what can we do if this team actually leaves? There's a lot of people working on keeping them to stay, and I wasn't, fans of the owners at the time, so I really didn't want to participate in that. But he did ask if I could, come up with a plan. So went and met with the Raiders and about moving to Sacramento, which they would have done if we could have built them a $1.2 billion stadium, which our community couldn't afford. And then obviously our relationship with the A's, who were very happy in the Bay Area. But I came back to him and I said, give me a few minutes. I got a plan. So in 2004, the Rivercats were asked to take over a AAA baseball team in Portland, Oregon, called the Portland Beavers. Mm-hmm. And the league basically had to take that back because it was in bankruptcy, and they asked us to go up and operate the team. So I wasn't on that on a day-to-day standpoint, but I was on the executive team that actually make decisions and ultimately go from there. But it came with this little team called the Portland Timbers. And we didn't know much about soccer. We actually looked at trying to close that team. And, we were focused on turning it around to AAA baseball. And we didn't know anything about operating a soccer team. This is, 2004, if you remember, MLS just started in 1996. And this is before the USL was really turned around. So, but we, because we didn't know anything, we had to get in there and learn. And so our people, and periodically I would participate and go up and just meet with people and understand what it was they wanted. The mayor wouldn't let us close it because he had these rabid fans, Portland Timbers, exactly. And they were only about 400 strong at that time, but to see their passion and see how excited they were. And so we had turned that club around, sold it to Merrick Paulson in 2008 or 2007. He said he wanted to get to Major League Soccer. We thought he was crazy, but we missed an opportunity. It was right under our nose. That was something that we could have done. But in the end, it was the right guy at the right time. And look, they've sold out. It's one of the biggest success stories in soccer in the world. And frankly, just great people up there, and we're blessed. So it just took that idea, and I said, Mayor, here, look, instead of stealing a team or bringing teams for other communities, why don't we grow something that's our own? And we can be a Major League Soccer market. Look, let's copy what they did in Portland, Seattle, Montreal, Vancouver, and at the time, and Seattle, right? So let's just copy that model. Let's build a brand that people love, and then let's take it to Major League Soccer. And, he loved it, and we started, and obviously huge success. So how I felt, to answer your question, I was just blessed. I just felt so great for our team of people who believed in everything that we were doing, believed in the community, and really wanted to make a difference. Joe Wagner, Brent Sasaki, Erica Bjork, Matt Ray. I mean, a lot of the executives there that ultimately have moved on. And it was just a magnificent feeling to really just celebrate a community. And yes, it was a championship, but to me, I just felt pride that our community was coming together and really supporting the team. And at that point, I knew we would get it. I knew we would get to Major League Soccer.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the Timbers because I met Timber Joey one time in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because they recently went to the Cup. I won, faked my age, said I was 27, still won. The company, it was Tag Heuer, MLS sponsor. Got to Atlanta, and, they let me go with, my dad, and we met the whole, we could choose a hotel, so I chose the one that, ironically, coincidentally, should I say, the Timbers were staying at. So I met, the whole team pretty much, and it's a great organization right there, and, they're doing a bunch of great things over there, and you started it, so it's pretty cool to be talking to a guy like you right now. So wait.
Yeah, interesting. So Gavin Wilkinson was a player for us in 2000. I think he's retired in 2005 or something, and he got hired by us as the coach at the time, and frankly, look where he is now. He's just a great man, and Mike Gallup, their whole team up there, just great people.
Yeah, and right now at Timbers, it's Cerise. So he used to coach right around the Cosmos. So I have a scarf because I went to one of their games. So that's where Pele played back in the day. So staying on track here with the Sacramento Republic, though. I mean, many people credit you for the rapid growth and getting stadiums, as you mentioned, larger than life stadiums that really bring the community together, as you say. So I mean, when you hear people say, what you've done, all this great work, I mean, how does that, make you feel?
Well, I'm humbled by it, of course, but I also recognize that, you can never do anything alone. And I've been blessed to be around just great people. Like a team on the field, the team can't win unless, they have people that fill their spots role, understand what the vision is, understand what the mission is, understand their roles within the organization, and then ultimately execute. So I felt mostly pride and happiness for them because they had all accomplished so much. Our job was to build this brand up. We were never really going to be the ones that could take it to Major League Soccer. We sold the team to Kevin Nagel and a group of MLS investors in 2017 so that they could take it to Major League Soccer. And it was fun to work on the stadium in the very beginning. And I'd found the land and actually entered into the agreement that where the stadium is going to go. And frankly, it's just wonderful to see this community continue to come together. Although I'm very excited about San Diego and making sure that we do the same down there.
Yeah. So I mean, you're with Sacramento now with San Diego, as you mentioned. I mean, two of these franchises, and San Diego's played one game, like official game in the USL. Yeah, it's one of the hottest franchises. I mean, what do you think that these franchises do that set them apart from the others?
Well, I don't know if we're the hottest team right now. We're just, we only played one game. We tied, one game at home. We tied that, went on the road and won in
the
Tacoma.
Competition, though.
Yeah, but we like to say that we're top of the table. We've been top of the table longer than anybody else has been in the league, right? So 3 months. But no, listen, again, it's all about people. Having people that are excited about what they're doing, that are talented, and ultimately celebrating. So again, it's just great to see the people that we have doing well and executing. Obviously, to have Landon Donovan as our technical director / coach, and he's just been fantastic to work with. He's obviously learning a lot. He's never coached before. He's always been on the other side. But it's not just him. We've got Pete Thurston, who used to be with the LA Clippers as their commercial officer. Who's with the Atlanta Hawks, Fenway Sports. In every position we've got major league experience, and ultimately at the leadership level, we're just really, really blessed in San Diego.
Yeah, and you got some top guys like Sal Zizzo, MLS guys
Yep.
that won MLS Cups, and some great jerseys too. I mean, the orange one is really cool. And
you like that? Like that?
The logo and everything. I really like the sponsor too. I mean, if a sponsor can help if sponsors a lot of times ruin a jersey, but I mean that only helps bring it out, and it's really cool. So and I watched San Diego.
Yeah, let me tell you real quick. So on that, Sal had retired, right? So a lot of people don't remember that he had retired, and we wanted to make sure that we had good representation from our community, because San Diego creates some of the best soccer players in the United States, and obviously Sal, with a good MLS career, Eric Avila with a good MLS career, both from San Diego, very important for us to bring back, and have been just wonderful. But on the Stone Brewing, we are so blessed, right? A lot of people don't know this that live outside of San Diego, but I mean, there's 150 small brewing operations in San Diego. We wanted to say no to big beer, and like most sports teams, they partner with, the Anheuser-Busch's of the world. But we create some of the best beer in the world, so we really wanted to focus on locally. And so we were so blessed to have Stone Brewing, who are just great people. The Greg and Steve, the principal owners and founders, Dominic, their CEO, and Dan, their chief marketing officer, just great people. So we feel blessed to be able to represent them. We're not just representing them, and because they're very active in the beer community. We're actually celebrating the entire beer community in San Diego, and frankly, it's just one of the best beer capital. I think it's the beer capital of the United States.
Yeah, and
you're too young for that, though, my man.
Yeah, it's funny because in MLS, it's all Adidas jerseys. You guys are Nike, I believe. So it's like, are you Adidas or Nike?
We are Adidas, and very proudly Adidas. Their soccer headquarters, or at least their soccer office, is in San Diego.
Yeah, so Adidas does the whole MLS, but I think it's like, and MLS is profiting off of that. Good for the league. Maybe if I was Don Garber, I wouldn't say with the money coming in from that, I don't know if I would turn it down either. But I feel like it's pretty cool that there is individuality in the USL within jersey sponsorships and all of that. So with San Diego now, guys are coming back, doing the whole USL thing, gonna play in the group stages, kind of like a World Cup type format, and then play in the playoffs. Hopefully in the playoffs. What are your goals, in the future with the club?
Well, our goals are very simple. We're very open about this. We want to be the best darn USL club in the league, and not just on the field, but off the field. So we got a long way to go. There's Sacramento is obviously a very good team. Louisville's an exceptional operation. We have big goals to build stadiums and ultimately deliver for the San Diego community, but and of course win some championships. We got a good team this year. We got a good group of guys. We're probably deeper than most teams, meaning we got talent across the board. Yeah. From this format, that should lend some assistance to us, right? Because if you look at it, we went up to Tacoma on a Wednesday night match after playing Saturday night, and we had 8 different starters that came into that match, and of course we got a nice victory there. So, but again, it's about our number one goal is to be the best USL club that there is. We're not talking about elevation. We're not talking about MLS. We're not talking about pro reg. We're just right now really singularly focused on building this team to be the best damn team it can. Excuse my language.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then, you're at UC Davis right now playing, and you mentioned these stadiums. What's it like for you kind of to come full circle? You played football at UC Davis, and now, you own a team that plays there.
Well, actually, I went to UC Davis, which is in outside of Sacramento. It's the University of San Diego that we're playing at, and they've just been awesome people. So, and a lot of people don't know this. There's been so many international matches that Toronto, Bill Manning's team now came down. I think he was there with them and played. They played the Cholos, Tijuana Cholos, just last year, right? So we've had plenty international teams, MLS teams. You've had NCAA women's championships there. You've had just amazing soccer matches. It's a beautiful venue. It's small. It's only 6,100 seats. But something that you said earlier is another tenet that we try to operate from is just, let's have a small supply, meaning small, not too many seats. Let's fill the seats. And let's grow our seating capacity that in a way that actually never allows us to have too many seats. If you've got, a 20,000 seat stadium and you're a USL team that just started, well, guess what? You're going to have a lot of empty seats. And that means people will wait to get tickets and life gets in the way. So, but the University of San Diego, Bill McGillis there, just great people. We're just so blessed to actually have such a strong relationship. It's obviously a great school. They have great athletic programs. So we're very happy to be there. But at the end of the day, we do have to grow. So we're looking right now at a modular facility that we can build similar to what we built in Sacramento, what David Beckham just recently built in Miami, and then Phoenix Rising, what they've built. And that's a little bit more expensive to grow and build modularly, but what it does, it allows you to grow your fan base. Instead of moving into, right now, the only stadium that we could move into is SDCCU, which it's huge, 65,000 seats, where the Chargers played, and it's going to be torn down in a year or two. We are talking to the San Diego State University, when they've taken over that building, and they're going to be building a new football stadium, and they've designed it so it can fit soccer fairly well. So we're talking to them about the potentiality of that. But for us to move, that's going to be 35,000 seats. If we move from 6,000 to 35,000, well, guess what? We're going to have a lot of empty seats, and that's a challenge for us. So, anyways, to be one of the best, clubs in the league, we have to build facilities that are best in the league. So we look forward to doing that as well.
Yeah, and I know 1904 FC, you probably heard of him, in the NISA. I'm pretty sure they play at that huge Charger Stadium, which is, They
used to.
Yeah.
They used to. They play at a high school now.
Yeah.
So
I remember watching the NISA when it first started, and they played there, and they're owned by some legends too, because I know Landon Donovan. I've covered one arena soccer game in Baltimore before, and Donovan actually played for the Sockers, which is a San Diego team. So, it's pretty interesting there. He's also very involved in the community, and I know many people may know the answer to this by now at this point in the interview. But really, what's your why, and why do you do this, and just why?
Why do I do this, or why does the club do this?
Just what's your why into, being who you are today as, the co-founder of San Diego Loyal, and, connecting to these fans and all that?
Well, the why is to San Diego is a beautiful community, right? And they have a lot there. Obviously, a lot of people choose to live there because of what San Diego has to offer. You have beautiful beaches, you have beautiful sunsets. But it's also the most underserved professional sports market in the country. So I'm not a sports operator. I have no desire to be like the MLS president, or to be Bill Manning or Al Guido in the 49ers, Tom Glick at Carolina Panthers. I'm a builder. I love to build. I love to start things and do it in a way that's different. I like to really get close to our customers, survey our customers, talk to them, talk to people that aren't customers, and understand what it is that they want out of us, and then develop something for them. But at the end of the day, it's all about making San Diego an even greater place to live, work, and play. We do that by bringing people together. We do that by not being shy and talking about issues. We just had a forum last week on Friday, with all that's going on, the civil unrest and the Black Lives Matter. We had a former police chief and some athletes, including Landon, that have been dealing with this racial issue and just starting a conversation. So we see our responsibility as really building the community. We just happen to use the game of soccer to do that. But that's what I love, and that's my why. Our company's why is, ultimately, in different words, the same. But just to be excited, and we're just finished it, so I can't remember it right now. So that's frustrating, but pretty soon here I'll have it memorized. Okay.
Yeah, and just to end off here, just a few rapid fire questions, get everybody know a bit about who is Warren Smith. So, if you could be from any other decade, era, what would it be?
Any other decade? Well, after what's going on in this community right now, and in the United States, I'd love to be around Ulysses S. Grant and Abraham Lincoln. And, because my father went to West Point, has studied Grant his entire life. Obviously, the Civil War There you go.
Yeah.
Right on. He was 1958. Yeah. So I grew up in a military family, right? So the strategy around how how he turned the war, but most importantly, as when he stepped into president, to carry on what Lincoln had started, and that was to end, this not just slavery, but how we treated African Americans. And frankly, he got stopped. He wasn't able to continue, and that's frustrating because we had 100+ years of really not having good conversations and ultimately treating people well. I love the United States. I love the fact that we live in a country where we actually any of us can come to this country, become citizens, and create our own lives. When I say any of us, I mean any of us, right? It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what color is your skin, what your socioeconomic background is. We're the United States of America, which means we're one for all and all for one. So, and I'd say, to answer your question, it'd be to be in Ulysses S. Grant's cabinet and to help him ultimately turn the tide and win the South from living the way that they did at the time.
Yeah. If you could do any other thing, any other profession in the world, what would it be?
Chris, that's tough for me to answer because I'm exactly where I want to be and exactly what I want to do.
That's the right
I'm just
answer,
happy doing this. I'm getting up here in the age. I'm 56 years old. I'm starting to think about when I slow down, what I'm going to do, and just be around family and just to be helping people that are younger accomplish their dreams. I think is something that I'd be very interested in doing, and just ultimately making a difference. So I don't know how, I don't know what, but I've carved out a nice little life and have been involved in some very great projects, and been most importantly around just some impeccable people who have just helped me to become a better man. At least I hope.
Yeah, you're probably around great cities as well. So, what's your favorite city you've traveled to?
My favorite city that I've traveled to, probably Berg in I think Switzerland, right? So, not Switzerland. Where is that? Gosh, dang it! I can't remember the country, but anyways, I just had a very enjoyable time there.
Yeah.
But in the United States, my favorite city right now is without a doubt San Diego.
Yes.
Without it, it's just fantastic. What's that?
It's not too humid, and it's 75 every day. That's the life right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still up in Sacramento right now because we were going to sell our house, start and put it on the market on April 1st. All this came down. Yeah. My suds needed to come in, and so I can't wait to get back down. I'll be back down there next week. But it's 103 today here in Sacramento, and it'll be 79 down there. So I can't wait to get down there.
Yeah. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh my goodness! One superpower: to read minds. No people are thinking.
Yeah. That's too dangerous for the people using it again. So, are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a morning person, and what's interesting, Chris, is I'm married to a night owl. So, to give you an example, I was up at 5:30. She probably went to sleep at 2 or 2:30. So she sleeps later. So she sleeps until about 11. But definitely a morning person.
Yeah, because you messaged me on LinkedIn, and I know you got on at 12:37 p.m. right now. So I'm like, man, he's up early. And I was like, geez, it's like 6 o'clock. I don't know. It was early. That's all I know. So I was like, man. So are you like me?
At your age, I was. Trust me, I slept late and probably stayed up later than I should have. But at some point in life, it just became more important for me to capture more of the day, and frankly, it's also my alone time in the morning, is to just be alone and exercise and ultimately pray and try to be closer to the man.
Yeah. So are you more of, do you like mini golf or real golf better?
Can you ask that again?
Mini golf or real golf?
Real golf. I'm playing today. I'm playing at 5 o'clock in the 103 heat today with my old former roommate who used to play on the Nike Tour, Brian Scott. And I can't wait to get out there. I'm not any good, but I just love getting out there when I can.
Well, good luck. And so I already asked that. So do you have any special talents? If so, what are they?
No, I'm one of those that has probably I'm good at some things. I'm not great at a lot of things.
Yeah.
I definitely say I think the thing that I enjoy the most though is just the process of selling, the process of getting people excited about something, and then ultimately helping them accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. I came from a sales background, sold wireless services for Costa, AT&T, and sold a lot of big stuff when we were just getting started as a company. And most of the time, it was just everything that we did was all, frankly, making the companies make more money and helping people accomplish what they were trying to accomplish. So, anyways, I think definitely no superpowers here or anything that I'm really, really good at. I just love what I do, and I think that affects other people. At least I hope so.
And then what's your favorite food, and then what's your least favorite food?
Favorite what?
Food.
Food?
Yeah.
Favorite food? Oh my God. Well, I'm a huge Thai food fan, man. Have you ever eaten Thai food?
Oh, I want to, because I have a store near me, but haven't been there yet. Gonna try it soon.
All right. Well, I grew up in Hawaii. Well, my dad retired from the military when I was 16 years old. And we had lived there for 8 years. So most of my years were in Hawaii. So sushi, Thai food, and Indian food are my weak spots.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on a diet or anything, I can't stop myself there.
Yeah, so in 3 words, describe yourself.
Oh, gosh, 3 words. Oh, my God, I should have read through all your questions, Chris. Gosh, dang it. Well, I'm a generalist. I mean, I'm an opportunist. If I see an opportunity, I'm a risk taker. I love taking risks. People think they're crazy risks, but I think that they're calculated risks, and I think that those are 3 good examples of me.
Yeah, and lastly, if you could sit down and eat dinner with 3 people in the world, who would they be?
If I could sit down with 3 people in the world, who would they be?
Yeah, and eat dinner.
And be back in time?
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, and Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, it's quite a trio. And Warren, I thank you, for joining the show and everything. You're doing some fantastic stuff right now. You've been doing fantastic stuff, with everything you've done. So, thank you for joining the show, and, I appreciate it.
Chris, let me say something about you. You're a very talented young man. So when you sent your text through LinkedIn, I did a little research on you, and if I had the gumption and fortitude and, frankly, a vision that you had at your age and how well you are put together and how you treat people, I know I would be much more of a success than I am today. So I look forward to watching you and seeing you develop. If you're ever in San Diego and you want to come see a match,
Yeah.
You've got your media pass, and or if you just want to be a fan and just sit and watch the game, you're there. Just love to see you grow in your career. And where do you want to go to college, Chris?
Sorry, excuse me. That just cut out for a second. But thank you. What did you say?
Where do you want to go to college?
Notre Dame is the big one. You could probably see behind me. It's my favorite. But
Yep.
I gotta have some pretty good grades to get into there. So I'm a huge Notre Dame fan, and that's the dream. But I guess whoever gives me the best money nowadays for soccer and everything, because college is only getting more expensive year by year. So I don't want to be drained in debt when I get out.
Well, yeah, Notre Dame's a great school. I went. Kevin Goldthwait, who was very helpful here us in Sacramento. He's one of our announcers in Sacramento. He played there and had a nice long career in the MLS. I think he played for 10 seasons.
It's a great school. Yeah.
Yeah, great school, and I look forward to. And never let money get in the way, man, because you can always find ways to do it. All right, so
I know. Yeah.
go after your dreams. Don't be shy. Okay.
I won't. Thank you.
You're very talented.
Thank you for joining the show, everybody, and Chris.